Well, hello, Santa Barbara Community Church family. I just wanted to give you a quick update on our thoughts about returning to congregational worship. Many of you may have seen the announcement that President Trump made, declaring churches and houses of worship to be essential and urging a return to worship as early as this weekend. While I agree with the president that what we do in our spiritual family is in fact essential, it's clear that we're not returning to corporate worship this weekend. I want to remind you, church, that we have a reopening task force that is made up of men and women who are community leaders and who love this church and have long histories with this church that are helping us think through how and when we might safely and wisely return to corporate worship. I want you to know three of the words that are guiding our thinking are biblical, safe, and incremental. I want to encourage you to be on the lookout for an email coming the middle of next week that will explain a little bit more of how we're thinking about each of those three terms and why we think those are the right ones as it pertains to returning to congregational worship. I want you to know that your elders and your staff are as eager as anyone to return to what we can only do when the church is gathered together. But I do want to remind us of a couple of things in this unique season. The first is that the calling to love the Lord our God with all of our hearts and souls and mind and strength, well, that's unchanged and unthreatened, even in times like these. In fact, the second part of what Jesus reminded us of, that we are to love our neighbors as ourselves, that actually might have some unique application in these times. We might have special and unforeseen opportunities to love our neighbors well as we, like Christ, choose to not exercise our rights, but to self-sacrificially serve others. And finally, church, I want to remind us, the church is not closed. The church is a spiritual family that God has brought together through Christ's redemptive work. And our role as ambassadors for his kingdom, well, it remains intact and as vibrant as ever, even in days in which congregational worship is not yet an option for us. Church, we love you. We can't wait to be together to worship with you again, and we covet your prayers as we think through how to do that really well. Enjoy the service.